his deep, deep love for all of us. It's about how he planned to rescue us from pain, sadness, and evil things. It's about how God planned for us to be a part of his kingdom. It is the story of Easter.
One day, God told Jesus to go to Jerusalem. As he entered the town, a huge crowd was there cheering him on, waving branches as he passed by, like he was the only one in a magnificent parade. Many people had become his friends and followers.
A few days later, Jesus invited his closest friends together to share a very special meal. They didn't know it was the last time they would be together, but Jesus knew. After dinner, Jesus told them that whenever they had bread and wine, they should remember him because he would be leaving them soon. He spoke to them about God's love and how when he left, he would send his Spirit to be with them. He washed his friends' dirty feet as if he were their servant, even though he was really their master, teacher, and their leader. It was a very sad night.
Later on, Jesus took a few of his friends with him to pray in a garden. Jesus prayed and talked to God, his Father in heaven. They had a plan together to save all the people in the world. He was praying very hard, but his friends could not stay awake. Suddenly, soldiers arrived to arrest Jesus and take him away. His friends were afraid and ran off.
The leaders were so angry and jealous that they took Jesus to the governor, Pontius Pilate. The crowds shouted angry accusations at Jesus. Still, the governor found Jesus innocent of all crimes. Yet the leaders had stirred up the mob to demand that he sentence Jesus to death. The governor complied.
They made a crown out of thorns and put it on his head. They made Jesus carry a big, heavy wooden cross to the top of a hill where he would die the cruelest of criminal deaths.
Jesus' friends and followers, and even his mother, were there as he suffered on the cross. They wondered what it all meant. They loved Jesus. They believed he was God's very own son. But there he was dying in agony. All their hope was in him. They truly wanted him to be their leader forever. But now it was over. Jesus could have become the king. He could have climbed down. He could have made it stop. But he stayed there because he loved them. He stayed there because he loves us. It was all part of the plan. Then Jesus died. Mary and everyone cried. The sky became dark and the earth shook when Jesus finally took his last breath.
He was taken down and put in a tomb. The leaders commanded that a humongous stone be placed to block the entrance. Soldiers guarded the tomb around the clock.
3 days later, very early in the morning, God sent an angel from heaven to the tomb where they had laid Jesus' body. When the soldiers saw the angel, they were so scared that they fainted. The mighty angel had a happy job to do that day. With great joy, the angel rolled the stone away from the entrance of the tomb.
Not knowing what had taken place and still full of sorrow, some of Jesus' friends went to visit his tomb that morning. As they approached, the glorious angel appeared to them and said, "Don't be afraid. Jesus is not here. He has risen from the dead. Jesus is alive again." The women could hardly believe this incredible news. They rushed back to tell their friends.
But Mary stayed a little longer. She was crying, confused about what happened to Jesus. She looked up and thought that she saw the gardener coming toward her. She asked him if he knew where they had taken Jesus' body. She didn't know that it was really Jesus himself.
Then he said her name, Mary. Instantly she knew it was Jesus, her friend and her Lord. He really was alive again.
But the rest of Jesus' followers were not so sure they believed Mary's story. They were together trying to figure out what to think about everything. When, boom! Jesus appeared right there in the room. He showed them the scars on his hands where they had been nailed to the cross, and they believed. Jesus explained God's plan, that now everyone in the whole world could be friends with Jesus.
Jesus lives. Jesus will never die. He will be the true king forever. Now anyone who believes in him can live with him forever in heaven. Jesus came to earth to show God's love for everybody. He died and came back to life to make it so that all the bad stuff in the world can never keep us away from God.
This is the greatest story ever. It is a love story. It's the Easter story. And this story never ends because what Jesus did is for everyone, everywhere, for all time. Easter really is the happiest day for everyone who believes. We believe in Jesus with all our heart. We hope you do too.